Hello, Brick Sculptors, and welcome back to Brick Sculpt. This is Chris, and it is time. The entries are in, and we are ready to take a look at them. Before we go ahead and dive in and look at them, let's go ahead and go over the rules and talk about how we're going to vote on these. Okay, first thing we need to talk about is the categories that we are voting on. As I've mentioned in the past, we're going to vote on 3 different categories. The first one being form. Form is going to be the entry that best shows off the aesthetic look of the piece as detail in a creative way. Next, we're going to vote on function. Function is going to be the entry that best shows off the capabilities of this piece to form a unique shape or structure. And the third category will be favorite. Favorite is just going to be the entry that you find most attractive overall. I just ask that you please consider the usage of the piece 15706 before picking your favorite. Here I have a sample vote so you can see how you're going to vote. In the comments, just go ahead and type out form, function, and favorite, and put the number next to each one that you want your vote to go to. I do ask that if you are going to vote, make sure you watch all of the entries first, just to make sure everyone has a fair chance, and don't just watch half the video to vote. There's only one vote per person, so if you vote multiple times, I'm not going to count multiple votes. Just one vote, please, per person to keep it fair. Also, we have 2 giveaways for this challenge, and these are going to be based on submissions and voters. The first one, submissions. Every person who submitted an entry to this challenge is going to be put into a random drawing, and one of those people will win one of our prizes. Also, anybody who votes is going to be put into a random drawing, and one voter will win a prize as well. In order to be eligible to win either one of the giveaways, you must be subscribed to Brick Sculpt. Also, winners of the 3 categories will be withdrawn from the random drawing and cannot win multiple prizes. Now, last point I need to make here before we get started, there are a lot of entries. I have over 50 entries here, so I'm going to have to talk about them pretty briefly. I apologize. I'd love to go in deeper depth about them, but in order to keep this video at a manageable length, I'm going to have to go through them pretty quick. So I apologize. It's going to be pretty abbreviated, but we need to get through all the entries here so people can vote. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Our first entry here is from Ahmed Hernandez. This is a spaceship or drone. Pretty cool shape on this. Next we have Idan Dan J. This contains 48 15706s. Beautiful shape of this kind of Christmas ornament type deal. It's just an awesome star shape here. Lots of cool details added in there. I think this is a really, really impressive build. Here we have Barbarin, made this beautiful mech. Very large, got really cool wings on it. Got some kind of action poses here in the renders. Really, really creative take on it. And this contains 22 15706s. Billionaire Bruce Wayne, another mech, actually a pair of mechs. Looks like they're fighting it out here down in the bottom left. Pretty cool. Brad K, and it's a spaceship. Really cool use of that piece 15706 to get those wings at that angle. Brick Built Labs, this is an incredibly detailed little minifig scale build. I love the usage here in the little windmill and the hut. It contains 13 15706s. Brick Fox, this is kind of looks almost like an Indiana Jones type deal where they're trying to escape some sort of maze or something. I love the usage of the brick separators there for a wall. That's kind of clever. Brick Hamster, what a beautiful little micro build here, making this into kind of like a condominium or resort type deal. The big windows, really, really clever way to use the piece. Brick Fables, another mech, 20 15706s in this build. Really cool. We had a lot of people making mechs and robots in this. Caleb Anthony, I believe this is kind of like little ruins here, using the piece in a very creative way to get an interesting angle on that structure. Chocolate Frogs. At first I didn't quite understand what this was. When they submitted this, it did have a little video to it. Unfortunately, I couldn't put that in the slide, but it actually, you put dice down it. You can see those little orange dice on there. This is a way of rolling dice. You put them at the top and they roll all the way down. So really clever usage, and it's definitely got an interactive feature to it. Really like that. Denism, little tower. I think that's pretty cool. Uses the piece to get the shape of that wedge in the tower. Eat Plant. This was one of the first entries I got. Really cool, making these little micro A-Wing fighters from Star Wars. I then mentioned to him he needed to do a snow speeder and a sand speeder, so he did that. Then he made a twin pod cloud car, and I told him they looked like they were kissing. I thought that was pretty funny. Very clever usage of the piece, though, to get that shape. Ellie, What a beautiful little micro build here, making this train bridge out of these and using these for kind of an iron structure to hold up the support of the train bridge. I always love micro builds. It's so clever how people can make such detailed stuff with really, really small limited parts. Exowave. I believe the submitter said that they did not have time to fully finish, so it is a partial spaceship, but a cool shape nonetheless. Gerald. This is a fire lookout tower. Really creative usages here. You could tell this person really tried to put as many of these pieces in as possible. There's 62 of them in there. Everything from the fence to the bridge to the little information stand to the tower. So lots of pieces used. Very, very clever. Goatman Gamer making a snowflake. Pretty obvious usage for it, so I think that's pretty cool. Just kind of naturally making octagons. You can do snowflakes pretty easily with this. So yeah, it's an awesome usage. Gordon here with the little motorcycle frame. It's pretty clever. I never would have thought to use that as a structural piece in that way, so I think that's really well done. Grady, kind of butterfly. Oh, the cool thing about this is it uses both cursed pieces. If you look on the right-hand picture, it's got both of my favorite cursed pieces there at 45-degree angles. So I went above and beyond there to add both those in there. Pretty cool. Gritty Goomba. Gritty Goomba submitted this. They had added a bridge in their city, it looks like, and they used these in the supports to get the right angle for that little ramp. Pretty cool. I never would have thought to use that for to get an angle on a ramp. Heinz did this whole series of bugs. They're so interesting, all the different ones. Lots of cool colors in there. And I love how this builder did pictures of these sitting on these flowers. Really interesting. Iceman 999. A little bit of a bending bricks vibe here, playing with these parts and making some interesting shapes. We got some circular type shapes, as well as this looks like a spine almost. It's almost helix type deal. Really cool. Janik, this is kind of a dinosaur or maybe an alien or something like that. Could be a robot, but I think it's probably more of an organic shape. Really well done. I think that base is super interesting as well. JMac JS Guru. This is a really unique technique. Not totally a full build, but a really interesting technique here. I love how this builder put the water down this, make a really cool waterfall, like a winding path. So really interesting there. John Pohl, we have another snowflake here, using lots of these 15706s. There's 40 of them in this build. Laura, we have a little spaceship here to hold a clone trooper. Pretty interesting use. I love getting those angles on those wings. It's a pretty popular use of this piece, getting angles on wings. Lego Phil, this is a really interesting build here. I love the creativity, kind of science fiction-esque of it, where this guy's kind of lost in the clouds, wandering. There is only a couple 15706s in this, though. This builder did exclaim they just basically used them to get those stairs at the right angle. One thing I really love about this build is if you look in the bottom left, this builder used my stud reversal using only plates technique to get that snot technique on the clouds facing both directions with just connecting them by friction. So that's pretty cool. Luca Herman, as always, very impressive. Luca came out early and put out a Star Wars logo and then later went back and did the entire poster. Very, very impressive. I don't know if you could realistically build this because there's a ton of floating elements in there. But even just the amount of time and effort this had to take to build on studio, oh my gosh, very, very impressive. I've never seen anything like this in my life. So really, really well done, Luca. Then we had some submissions for kids. This is Maddie, age 9. This is so awesome. I love seeing young people get involved in stuff like this. This reminds me of something my daughter would build. So really nice job. Thank you, Maddie. And Maddie's brother Maverick here, age 7, had to be a part of the challenge as well. So thank you, Maverick. This is really cool. So you got a little bowl of cookies there on your spaceship. Here we have a submission from Matthew. This is such an interesting build. I love the rock work on this. I love the cheese slopes to make up this path. And there is actually 15706s embedded in the roof of the structure, as well as in the patio here, this little star pattern underneath the structure. Super cool, super detailed, really, really well done. Now I am a little partial to this build, only because I built a bird nest. So I'm so glad somebody built a bird. Nathaniel A., really well done. That's a beautiful bird with its wing extended. I wish I was able to plop this right next to my bird nest. The scale might not be just right, but hey, it'd be really cool nonetheless. So very, very nice job. Omega Dot, this is an awesome build. Obviously going on the Rock Raiders theme here. Got some really cool shape coming out of those 15706s using that octagon shape to get an 8-sided structure here and just kind of stacking up layers. You can see it broken down there at the top. Really, really interesting, and I love what you did with it here. Nice job. Orca, age 15. This is an absolutely beautiful tree frog here. Super well done. I love the colors on it. I love the usage of the piece. Really, really nice work. Nice job, Orca. Piers. Now, the funny thing is, Piers submitted this, and this was actually kind of my original idea before I did the bird nest. I was thinking like a water wheel or maybe a windmill, and I'll be honest, I'm glad I didn't, because Piers did it way better than I would have. So, very nice job. This is really, really beautiful. I love the Technic element in there with the chains. Super cool. I love the usage of part 15706, and lots of them in there. This is really, really well done. Nice job, Piers. Prickly Pear. This is pretty cool. This is Prickly Pear here is working with kind of cubes and dice shapes. I know this has been up on the Discord for a bit. They shared it kind of early, and a lot of people kind of put in some input, and it kind of evolved, which is awesome to see. Ideas coming together over time, and came up with some really cool dice, and all built around 15706. There's 24 of them in each of these dice builds, so really cool use of the piece there. PRK. Really nice little throne room. I like the usage of the piece for the back and on the floor. Very clever. Nice job. Rockin' It Anti-Forever. I'll tell you, these names I struggle with. I apologize. But here we go. We have a beautiful little volcano. I love this. Beautiful build. This is so creative. I love the lava in there and the shape. Really, really cool usage. This is a lot like what I did with my bird nest, using the shape in the other direction. So yeah, I really like how this came together and all the details you added on there. Nice job. Rusty Dusty. This is an amazing build. I cannot even... I'll be honest, this slide does not do this build justice. There is so much detail packed in here. Rusty Dusty did do a whole video on this build, and I mean, the more you look at this, the more stuff you can pick out. The little cage on top with the guy in it who walks to make the crane go up, the steps around the outside, the ladder in the basement, which is just a stack of 15706s, and using the 15706 to stretch that skeleton out like he's been tortured. So cool. Really well done, Rusty Dusty. And there are 72 of them in this build, which is absolutely impressive, considering that they're all blended in so nicely. Really well done. Here we have Scanner with another mech. This is a really awesome mech. Got some amazing shape on those legs using the 15706s, and I love the detail on the base plate you've got them set up on. It's pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to butcher this name, so I apologize. Chatabula, 22 15706s in this build, and what a beautiful setup. This came with a little story to it about, it was kind of like a invasion, or this alien creature is parked here watching this farmer, and he just sits there innocently and watches, but the guy doesn't really know if this thing's a threat or not. So really cool. I think this is just a beautiful usage of the piece, and a lot of awesome detail packed into this build, so thank you. Shaddy? Shate? This is a sword from Legend of Zelda. I thought it's an awesome little use for it, to make the hilt there out of 15706s. And they also made a small one, so that's pretty cool. Okay, this might win the award for the best name. Slammin' Salmon here, with the double helix. Interesting use of the piece. Nice job. Spoo01, 13 15706s into this amazingly detailed dragon. I love all the little bits in there, and you can just stare at this thing and find more and more the longer you look at it. The parts just jump out at you. Really creative part usage, and I love how it all comes together to one cohesive build. Nice job. Steven Jobs here made this flower vase to hold some of the Lego flowers. Very, very creative use there. It also has kind of a plate to go with it. 20 15706s in this build total. Stud.io, and I got this submission from Stud.io. It was already done up in this really cool setup of images, so I just posted the whole thing on the slide because I thought it was really well put together. But yeah, what a beautiful little spaceship. Super creative use of this on the wings. Well done, Stud.io. We have another build from a kid here. We got Susan, age 10. I absolutely love how much stuff is packed in this build. All these little animals and plants in this forest here. This reminds me a lot of something my daughter would build. She loves to do stuff like this, and she loves all the very interesting elements, all the creatures, plants, animals, so I can totally relate to this, and just packing as much of that in there as you can. And of course we've got some 15706s in there as kind of roof elements and base elements, so really awesome. Nice job, Susan. Then here we have Suzanne Strom. This is such a beautiful little build. It's a little kind of sleeping dragon thing. Really cool. It's got fire on its tail. That's awesome. But really creative part usages there. I love the plant elements tied in. I love the colors of the build. It's got a very cohesive look there with reds, oranges, and browns. Very, very, very interesting. Thank you so much for submitting this. Next we have Tanner, and we have a UFO here. This might be what's been flying over New Jersey lately, who knows. But we got a nice little flying saucer here with the base being built around 4 15706s. I love they submitted some creative breakdown pictures here showing the internals, so really easy to see what's going on in there. But yeah, really unique. Nice job. The Maze Echo. I love this little swing set. Super cool. And I'll be honest, one of my favorite parts of this, when this was submitted, the Maze Echo sent me a message and said there's also a sand red piece in it. Now, if you're an OG fan of Brick Sculpt, you'll know what that's all about. If you're newer, you might not. But I used to put a piece of sand red in every one of my videos and challenge my viewers to find the piece of sand red. Haven't done it in a while. I probably should start again because it was a lot of fun. So maybe I'll bring that back. But thank you so much, Maze Echo. This is a really creative use of the piece. So nice job. Thing That Lives. Really cool and very obelisk-esque. I could definitely see this going on the top of an obelisk. That shape looks super hard to build, so this definitely took some time and energy. So very nicely done making an interesting shape there out of this. And last but not least, we have UFO bricks with this little hidden temple. I love the usage of 15706 there. It's right in your face, right in the front and in the back of the build, and kind of centers the stage right around that piece to build this really cool Indiana Jones-esque, Adventures-esque temple. So beautiful, lots of details packed in. Very, very nicely done. So once again, these are the categories we're voting on here: form, function, and favorite. Again, we have our sample vote here. We're going to let everybody vote for the next 2 days. So you can vote all of today and all of tomorrow. On Saturday at midnight, we're going to stop the voting. Sunday, I'm going to get a video together to give you the results. And we should be able to announce this on Sunday, possibly on Monday. It depends how much time I have. So one last time, thank you so much to everybody who submitted an entry. I love the amount of participation. We had over 50 entries in this, which is so cool. And also thank you to everybody who likes this video, everybody who watches this video, everybody who subscribes. I can't wait to give away some prizes. This is going to be a lot of fun. And as I said before, everyone has a chance to win. So really cool. Go ahead and get in there and get your votes in. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm going to do more just like this in the future. And we will see you next time.